Okay, let's go to Bang Shiyu. And then I will end with K-pop, demon hunters, so that it's lighter. We're not ending with this. But before I proceed with this, just want to remind everybody that I'm not doing it because I want us to obsess over the case. Quite the opposite. I want us to just be in the know and get it over with, and then move on to what matters more, and that is the music of BTS and other artists that we talk about. So don't I hope that you guys won't bother answering people, the haters trying to say something bad about Bang Shiyuk. Just let them be for as long as we are informed about what is happening. Okay, so the finance department actually decided to forward the case of Bang Shiyuk to the prosecutor's office. And as I've discussed last time, that doesn't mean automatically that he's going to be indicted. Indicted meaning a case is going to be filed against him. It is simply saying that the recommendation of the commission is that he be sued. It will still be up to the prosecutor's office to decide whether or not he will be indicted. And that means they will still conduct their investigation. And if they feel that they have enough cause, then they will sue. Okay, well, that really depends on them, whatever their reasoning may be. So, whatever I'm going to be discussing, I got from this website. So, just in case you want to see where the source material, you can go to that website. I'll paste it in the description box as well. Okay, so all of that is here. It is translated in English, and then there's also a Korean version. It's a longer one, and then there are several attachments. All right. So the case is all about Bang Shiyuk not informing the stockholders before IPO, pre-IPO. They're insisting that Bang Shiyuk did not inform the stakeholders or the shareholders of the company about his plans to go public. All right. Now, that is false because he did recommend to the shareholders to sell their shares in three separate occasions. And that was driven by the fact that he was trying to do the IPO, but he kept on failing. So he made several attempts of going public before he was actually able to go public. And so while he was trying to do it, he kept on advising people to sell their shares because he's not sure if he will be able to go public. Therefore, he's not sure if they will make their money back. And so he was saying, I'm trying, I'm failing, you might want to sell. Okay, so three separate occasions: October 2018, June 2019, and November 2019. Okay, those are the three failed IPOs. So, October 2018, the IPO was delayed approximately 2 years. 2 years, it was delayed 2 years. They started it 2018, and then ended it at 2020. And they, during somewhere in this date, somewhere they're not clear as to when he actually warned the stakeholders to sell their shares, but somewhere in this date, Bang Shiyuk, informed the stakeholders, you might want to sell because I'm not sure what's going to happen. Okay, so that's the first instance. Second instance, June 2019, in the 2019 agreement. Okay, in the 2019 agreement, it did not contain the 30% profit sharing clause for Bang Shiyuk. Remember that this case is banking on Bang Shiyuk not informing the stakeholders that he was going to go IPO, that he was going to go public, and that he was going to take 30% of the profit if the IPO was successful. But in the second attempt, when they attempted the second time to go public, he had no 30%. Instead, so he wasn't going to get the 30%. Instead, he signed a contract that left him shouldering the risk of having to buy the private equity stake at a higher price if the IPO failed. Okay, so just for example, if Ray Aviles is one of the private stakeholders, so she was one of the shareholders of the company, and I am Bang Shiyuk. So you initially bought your share. This is just an example for $100, 100 US dollars. Now, if we go IPO, that's going to go up, right? Because we're going to go public. However, it keeps on failing. So what Bang Shiyuk did was include in the agreement that if the IPO fails, if the IPO fails, that means the shareholders will not get their money back. He will buy all the shares if they want. Like, I will buy them at a higher price. So he's taking in all the risks. Okay, so that's what happened in the second attempt. Now he did a third attempt. He did a third attempt. In that third attempt, they included a contract allocation of 30% of the sale profit to Bang Shiyuk with the put option. So he still did not remove that option that he will buy the shares of the shareholders if the IPO fails. It's still there. But he also included, now, they already included a 30% profit going to Bang Shiyuk when they do a successful IPO. Now, it still failed in that it was delayed. So they were working on it for 1 year before it actually happened. So nobody lost their money, everybody moved on, and now they're starting to become happy because Hybe is on its way to its all-time high. Now, at that time, what was happening was that Hybe was struggling to attract external investors to buy out the shares. So they were looking for an investor that would go, okay, buy the shares of this shareholders if the IPO fails. Just buy them. We'll include it in the contract that they can sell it to you for a set price. So if you bought it, for example, if From Cali with Love bought the share for $100 and the IPO fails, the share goes, this is just an example, goes $50, but the contract states you still need to buy it for $150. They couldn't find anybody that would do that. Okay, so what ended up happening was that they formed SPC, Special Purpose Committee, formed by Hive. Executives stepped in as the acquirer. So, and that includes Bang Shiyuk. So they said, the executive said, okay, we're going to buy it because we couldn't find anybody that will do it. We will be the ones to buy it at a set price if the stock actually goes down. So that's what happened. All right. And this has already been documented even before. Now, as I've said, Hybe's IPO was delayed by several months, primarily because of COVID. COVID happened. Okay. On July 16, 2025, this is just yesterday, today for us, the Securities and Futures Commission accused Hybe again. They accused, and then, but they also confirmed that Bang Shiyuk only indicated that the listing could be delayed. So they are acknowledging that according to the documents that they got and according to their investigation, what he told the shareholders is that the listing, the IPO could be delayed. But he did not say that he's not going to go IPO. And in fact, they also acknowledged that Bang Shiyuk took in all the risk that he promised, and it was in a form of a document, and it was signed on the dotted line that if the stock falls, he will still buy the shares at a predetermined price. Okay. Now, the argument of the prosecutor, of this commission, is that it isn't about whether or not they inform the stakeholders. It is about the fact that some stakeholders sold their shares when they could have waited and they could have sold more. Now that's what they're saying. Okay. So who is now bent out of shape when they decided to sell instead of trusting in the company? Okay. So now they're just after the new president took office. When the new president took office, they instituted the Financial Authorities One Strikeout System, meaning it only takes one offense. If you are proven guilty for one offense, no more mercy. You're going to be sentenced to death or whatever that may be. Now, in the document, that same document that they released, the Financial Commission released, it says that this does not apply to Bang Shiyuk, even if he is proven guilty, because his case happened before this rule was instituted. So all those headlines about him getting a death penalty, getting lifetime imprisonment, that's not true, because this does not fall under that rule, under that category. Okay. So that is what happened. What is, however, crazy to me, outside of what's going on in Bang Shiok, as you would remember, Min Hee-jin has been, the police decided not to indict Min Hee-jin based on the initial complaint of Hybe. So she's celebrating. She posted on IG. Chatter is starting in different social media. But I, for one, think that it is absolutely crazy that all of this actually started with Min Hee Jin versus Adore and Hybe. And now, if she does manage to get away from it all, walk free, the only ones that are in trouble is New Jeans. When they did not start this, they were they were so successful. That was happening. They were good, they were successful, they were breaking records, and now the woman who started it all is most she has a chance of walking, while they will need to move mountains in order to go back to where they are. It's just absolutely mental that that happened. Okay. Next. Bunny's fantasies are weird. It's still a huge gigantic civil case. Yes, it is a huge gigantic civil case. Now, so don't you think it is crazy that now it is actually Min Hee-jin is she has a chance of walking away free. All right. So and then New Jeans is just they have to move mountains in order to go back to where they were. Now, based on the decision of the police, Hybe released a statement stating that they are going to appeal that. And then they also explained several things. So this is the translation of the letter. That's where I got it. I will put it in the description box just in case you guys want to read it yourself. Okay. Now, some of the major points of this statement. Number one, they said Hyde plans to appeal the prosecution regarding the breach of trust case, because when they filed it, there were a lot of things that they didn't have yet, a lot of evidence that they didn't have, that is now in their possession, and it would be easy for them to actually submit that, and they are convinced that they will be able to prove that there was a breach of trust. So they will appeal. That's for sure. I said new developments occurred after the investigation and multiple pieces of evidence have been submitted. Okay. Next, the next major thing based on that release is that a decision of no charges was made for Hybe executives, including 5 executives and staff from affiliated companies. If you would remember, Min Hee-jin sued different executives from Hybe of libel, of defamation, and all of those were dismissed, they said. So nothing happened to that case. The court found no fault, and so nothing. All right. So they're safe. The executives are safe. Um, this is major. Number three is major because investigative authorities or the police acknowledge that the way that they acquired the cacao messages, the ever controversial cacao messages, it was actually legal. It was legit. And so because of that, they can actually go to the court and say, look, even the police agrees that the way we acquire this cacao text messages, it's legal. So they can use those messages against her in court. Okay. Um, Now, this, if you would remember, she filed this case against the executives of Adore and Hybe back in 2004. So she dragged everybody, and then the case was dismissed. Now, the other thing is, so this is the one part of the translation of the post. Hybe's claim could not be regarded as false, were in public interest, and therefore not made with malicious intent, and that the Kakao Talk messages, it's here, were lawfully obtained during the audit process. So the court is saying, yeah, that's all good. The way that they got it, that's all good. It's admissible in court. Okay. The other thing is, oh yeah, so she Hybe also called Team Bunny as an accomplice of Min Hee Jin. They said that Min Hee Jin, um, and her camp or something like that. Um, so they it seems that they are alluding to them having some proof that whoever is running this talkies account, this big accounts of talkies, they're actually directly related or connected to Min Hee Jin. So let's see if they will actually drag this Twitter those social media accounts. Okay, she has money for all the lawsuits. Well, I don't know how deep is her pockets unless someone is actually helping her. So these are some of the text messages that they found, and that says, so this is her, and this is her as well. I heard you say that you just pretended not to know and want know. So small. Wait a minute. Maybe I can. Where is that? Okay, so on the left side is one of the most more scathing comments that she made was actually about wait a minute, make I will make this larger. Uh okay, so she told about, so this statement is actually about New Jeans. She said that what do they know? It makes me dizzy to see them looking in the mirror and thinking about dancing. Is this work? It's disgusting. It feels like I'm ordering a man to do something good. It's a waste to feed those reckless kids. She's talking about New Jeans. And then on the right side with the yellow messages, um, this was her conversation with Hanny. And if you would remember, Hanny was saying that she actually didn't know for sure, like she doesn't exactly remember what what the manager told her. And Min Hee Jin was actually leading her to say that that the manager instructed I'll It members to ignore her. So in this entire conversation, this is Hanny saying, I don't really remember the exact words. And then she went on to say, um, I first greeted the group. So this is Sunny. I first greeted the group and they came back out. 5 to 10 minutes later, the manager told them to pretend not to see me and ignore me. When in fact, that wasn't what she said originally. She said they greeted me, they looked stiff and uncomfortable. I totally get they're feeling awkward. There's so much competition in the media and in the workplace. I really get it. I really don't care about them at all. If you're worried about that, don't worry about it. So this is Hanny talking to Min Hee Jin. And then somehow the narrative changed, and then it was Hanny saying, I first greeted the girl group members and they came back 5 to 10 minutes later. The manager told the members to not not see me and ignore me. So she was prying. She sort of was asking Hanny to say something that she can't even remember, or she wasn't even bothered about. Okay, so that's part of the text messages. Now they said that, and this is part of it. And Hanny was saying like, I'm not really sure. So when they confirmed, so the manager told the group members, I'll It to ignore you. And she said, Hanny said, I'm not really sure. And that's not what actually came out in the public. So they said that tomorrow or maybe day after tomorrow, there's going to be more things to be released in the media. And so let's see what's going to happen. They're going to release more cacao messages of Min Hee Jin. Okay, Hanny learned a lot from Minijun. Bang PD gets dragged by army for breathing. If this was BTS and Bang Hyuk, MHJ would be curled up in the corner crying. How did special how did special freely so confused? How did special freely? Can you clarify your question? I'm feeling that way too. Okay. If Bang Shi-yuk talked about BTS the way she did about New Jeans Army, would be demanding he be tossed out of the make me shake my head that they still support her. Oh yeah. If he talked that way about BTS, oh yeah. Oh, he should run away and not ever even dream of going back. But yeah, the thing is that, as we know, he's very, very respectful of BTS, and to this day, he has. I appreciate actually that he has stayed out of. He stayed. He's sort of letting them do what they want. He's not gotten in the way of anything. You know, the members are actually able to produce the kind of music that they want, make the kind of music that they want, the kind of promotion that they want. He's just staying out of it. I also appreciate that Hybe has repeatedly emphasized that they will just be supporting BTS no matter what they want to do. They'll be there to support BTS. I appreciate when their CEO said, as you know, they have this quarterly call with their stakeholders, and in the last one, he specifically mentioned that I hope you would understand that BTS has a different position in the company, and that we're just going to be here to make sure that whatever it is that they are envisioning, will be there to support it. So I I am sure that even Hybe knows that you cannot take away BTS's you can't avoid the fact that people are going to be attracted to Hybe because of BTS. That's just how it's. I think that's going to happen forever, right? But I appreciate how they are consciously trying to not mention BTS every minute that they can. So I appreciate that.